Hello everyone, it's your girl Lilium here and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be all about my new tattoo. This is the biggest tattoo I have and it was quite daunting to have it made, but I am extremely happy with the result and it was completely worth all the pain that I went through getting it. And it is a big beautiful owl and it has this water coming out the sides of it and the owl is facing a profile, and I decided to have the eye colored a little yellow just to switch it up a bit. In perspective, I wanted to have a little bit of color just to break the whole black and gray thing. I still have work to have done on it. I still need to get white highlights in it, which I really look forward to because I think it's going to make it pop even more and make it even more beautiful, more than it already is. I also still have some touch-ups and stuff going on with it, so maybe I will have just one touch-up session. I hope one will be enough, but once that is done I will definitely give you an updated tattoo video on it. Let's start with the pain-wise. I sat for a total of 5 hours, which is a lot. I only had 2 little breaks because when you get a tattoo that is this big and you know you're gonna sit for a long time, the fewer breaks you can have the better, because the more you get tattooed, the more annoyed your skin is going to become, the more raw it's going to get, and it's really just best if you can keep on going so that you don't have to constantly go back and forth and not, and have breaks all the time, because if you do that the pain will only actually get worse. I did handle the pain a lot better than I thought I was going to. It was actually only the last 30 minutes, 45 minutes that were really bad, where I was, literally squirming and my feet were like contorting and stuff because it hurt so much. But other than that, I dealt with the pain amazingly well, I thought. I kind of patted myself a bit on the shoulder. I did really good, I think. Which also gives me a lot of courage to take on more big tattoos, and I know that I can, sit through it and not be, pussy out and be so weak. But on a pain scale, I would say it varied from being completely tolerable the first 2.5 hours. The first 2.5 hours were kind of my sweet spot. It was just like, whatever, you do what you do, and watched YouTube videos and series, and I was in a really good mood and I held up really good. And then for the next hour it gradually got worse, up until the last 30-45 minutes that were really bad. I think to give it an overall pain rating, I would put it on where 1 is extremely easy, you can hardly feel it, to 10, which is excruciating pain, where you, like me, like basically contorting and you're like, it really hurts. I think I would rate it on maybe a 6.5 to a 7, but I would definitely do it again. I wouldn't have a problem doing it again. Also because it was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It was actually easier than I thought it was gonna be, or maybe I just have a higher pain threshold. Usually women have better pain thresholds than men, but again, it all depends on who you are and what your pain threshold is. The tattoo is of course done in vegan black ink, and my tattoo artist only use vegan products, so that is important. And you need to remember, if you want a vegan tattoo, you have to ask your tattoo artist. Not all tattoo artists, actually far from it, use vegan products all the way around. Everything, including their stencil stuff, the stencils, the ink and aftercare and stuff. So please be informed before you get tattooed. In my case, since I'm vegan, that is very, very important to me. Otherwise I would not have gotten tattooed where I'm at my current artist. I would have gone to another artist. A lot of normal ink has pig grease in it, and I don't want to have dead animal fat sprayed under my skin. I think that's absolutely disgusting. So make sure that you check with your tattoo artist before you get your tattoo. Now down to the symbolic meaning of this tattoo. This is actually my way of getting a mom tattoo. My mom is a big fan of owls. She has been for many years. She has tons of, owl stuff at home, and every time I look at owls, I think of her. They're beautiful and wise and kind of protective, but still strong, just like she is. And the water is to symbolize me, which kind of, I'm her child, so I kind of, sprung from her. I'm her offspring, so that's why the feathers kind of go out into these waves, which I want it to be kind of Japanese style waves, a bit ornamental looking as well. And it's because I'm a water sign. I'm a Cancer, so that is why I chose to have the water, plus it just looked sick, I think. This was my biggest tattoo yet, and for the first few days I was not used to it at all, and I was really, kind of shocked each time I looked down at my arm, and I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of ink right now. But I've gotten used to it now, and I'm just looking forward to getting more up on my shoulder. I already have contact with one of my friends who is a tattoo artist as well, and she makes the most beautiful black and gray roses. The roses in themselves are just gonna be white or skin to skin colored, and then I'm going to have, contrast with black and grays, which kind of fade as we go up the shoulder here. So, but I still have a lot of ideas what I'm going to do for my next tattoo, and I just feel like this has given me the session I had with my tattoo artist at Lacuna Tattoo Studio in Copenhagen. I just felt like it gave me so much more courage to get more big tattoos and to not be afraid, and to know myself better as well. In the process of getting such a big tattoo, I think, I just went in head first, and I was too close to like calling it off a few times, not because I didn't want the tattoo, but because I was just afraid of kind of getting such a huge tattoo, and would I be able to withstand the pain. So I have a lot more stuff in store. I also am considering getting a semi-portrait kind of thing. I've never really been into portraits, but I'm still considering it. It's far from, like something I want to have, but I've always been a big horror fan. Some of you guys know this. And my little moth tattoo is actually from the cover of Silence of the Lambs. If you watch my first tattoo video, you will know what all of my tattoos mean to me and stuff. If you haven't seen it, I'll just link it down below so you can check it out. But in the Hannibal series, or the new the Hannibal series, is the role of Hannibal Lecter is played by Mads Mikkelsen, which is a Danish actor. And I find him absolutely brilliant in the part as Hannibal Lecter. Also, he is now starring in soon to come out, hopefully this year, the Death Stranding game by Hideo Kojima. And I'm so freaking psyched for that game, and he is playing the protagonist in Death Stranding. And I really wanted to have a portrait of him like in his white collar, just like looking up with this evil gaze and the hair and stuff, make it a very contrast-filled portrait that captures the soul of like Hannibal Lecter and that, devilish and insane person that he is. And I think that would be actually pretty freaking awesome to maybe have down here somewhere with his eyes, his color, like but again, I also want to make sure that my arm doesn't become too busy, and to overdo it with tattoos is very easy. especially when I now have 4 tattoos on this arm and a huge one. The fourth one is the huge one, owl. Yeah, I'm definitely not done getting tattooed, and I have a lot more ideas. One thing I'll never do is to tattoo my chest, because I find the female chest to be very beautiful in itself. And I don't want any distractions on my chest. I don't know, that's just me. And I'll also never get any neck tattoos, or I don't think I'll get hand tattoos either, even if it's just small ones. But I am planning to get my feet done. I just kind of need to think what I would like to have. As far as I've heard, it's the most painful spot, or one of the most painful spots to get tattooed, but that doesn't scare me. I know how happy I am afterwards getting it, and that's all I really try to keep in mind while I sit there, and it's really tough. And if you'd like to support me, please check out my Patreon page. I have some funding perks you may find interesting. Also check out my Tingles page, where I also have perks. For $5 a month you can get exclusive videos, sleep timers, you can get looping trigger tools, and a whole lot more. So check it out, and I'll leave a link for my Tingles page down below as well. Take good care. Mwah. See you soon in my next video. Bye!